Did you know a whopping 50% of leaders see difficult conversations to be the biggest challenge for them? And 34% of managers openly admit to procrastinating crucial conversations, putting them off by a month or more. Can you relate? Today, we're here to tackle this head on, providing you with insights and strategies to make tough talks easy, ensuring that you don't fall victim to the pitfalls that so many leaders face. Let's unravel the art of navigating difficult discussions with tact so you can lead with confidence and foster a team that thrives. Stick around. This is a conversation you won't want to miss or procrastinate. I'm Lauren, your strategist for new leaders, and I've been helping teams and leaders work better together for over 15 years. Today, we're diving deep into the nitty-gritty of those tough talks. You know, the ones that keep you up at night or maybe make you wish you had a DeLorean and crazy time-traveling neighbor to avoid altogether. But fear not, I'm not here just to point out the challenges. I'm here to teach you how to turn those nerve-wracking conversations into opportunities for growth and success. So whether you've been pushing those difficult conversations to the bottom of your to-do list, no judgment here, or just navigating the sometimes rocky transition from peer to supervisor, you're in the right place. Because let's face it, leadership is not just about giving orders from a corner office, it's about fostering a team that's built on trust and collaboration. So why are these tough talks so darn important? It's not just because they're the managerial equivalent of broccoli on your plate, good for you but annoying, it's because they're the secret sauce to effective leadership. You see, that eye-popping statistic I threw at you earlier, the one where 50% of leaders struggle with difficult conversations, it's not just a number, it's a reality check. These conversations aren't just hurdles to jump over, they're crucial moments that shape your team and your leadership journey. Comment below if you're part of these 50% putting off these important conversations. You know who you are. Avoiding those tough talks is just sweeping issues under the rug or burying your head in the sand. Sure, it might seem like the problem will just go away on its own, but all you're doing is letting them simmer beneath the surface. And trust me, that's the last thing you want. Unaddressed issues can spread like wildfire, affecting team morale, collaboration, and ultimately your team's performance. Now, let's flip the script. When you face these conversations head on, you're not just solving problems, you're cultivating a culture of openness, trust, and accountability. It's about showing your team that you're someone willing to confront challenges and put in the work to help them become the best that they can be. Okay, now that we understand why these conversations are important, let's dig into how to set yourself up for success. There are 6 steps for preparing for these conversations. Step 1, gather the facts. First things first, arm yourself with concrete facts. Before you even schedule the talk, dig into the specifics of the issue. What are the facts? What evidence supports your observations? The more concrete your information, the clearer your message will be, and the more confident you'll be delivering it. Also, if appropriate, ask for other perspectives. For example, if the issue is between 2 specific team members, are there any others who may have witnessed an altercation or heated discussion? Remember that everyone has a unique perspective on situations, and while it may be their truth, it may not be the whole truth. They may not be trying to lie, but they may not be able to see all sides when giving information. Step 2, identify specific behaviors. Get granular. Pinpoint the exact behaviors or actions that need addressing. Being vague won't cut it. When you can say, on this date, this happened, and here's why it's a concern, you're setting the stage for a focused and productive conversation. Try not to make it about the person or their personality, and don't go down any tangents. Keep the conversation focused and specific. Step 3, set clear expectations. Now that you've got your facts straight, outline your expectations. What changes or improvements do you need to see? Be clear and realistic. Ambiguity can lead to confusion, so clarity here is your ally. Give concrete examples or steps if appropriate. Set deadlines if necessary. Step 4, organize your thoughts. Before you dive into the conversation, organize your thoughts. Create a mental or written outline of the key points you want to cover. Use all of the information you've gathered in steps 1 through 3 for this. This will help you stay on track and maintain focus during the talk. Step 5, anticipate reactions. Be prepared for a variety of reactions. Some team members might be surprised, others defensive, and some may even be relieved that the issue is finally on the table. Anticipating these reactions helps you tailor your approach and responses, ensuring a smoother discussion. But at the same time, don't assume you know how they'll react. Be prepared, but don't come to any conclusions. And step 6, embrace empathy and active listening. Finally, put on your empathy hat. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Active listening is also your secret weapon. Understand their perspective, acknowledge their feelings, and foster an environment where they feel heard. Preparation is not just about getting your facts straight, it's about setting the stage for a constructive and meaningful conversation. These difficult conversations shouldn't be approached with no preparation. That's asking for disaster both for you and for your team member if you're just trying to remember everything off the top of your head. You're more likely to get off track, lose the thread of the conversation, or lack concrete examples to back up the discussion. Before we get to the next part about how to structure these conversations, if you found this video helpful or informative, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Now it's time for actually having the difficult conversation. How you structure this conversation is key to its success. My client, Brenda, really struggled with and totally avoided having these challenging conversations with her new team members. As a newly promoted team leader, the transition from being a peer to a manager brought a wave of challenges, and handling tough discussions with her team members was at the top of the list. We worked together to overcome these challenges using the steps that I'm about to outline for you. So let's break it down. First, start by setting a positive and constructive tone. Express that the purpose of the conversation is growth and improvement, not punishment. Make it clear that you value open communication and the betterment of the team and the team member. Start with a neutral opener and avoid diving straight into the heart of the matter. Maybe acknowledge a recent success or express gratitude for their contributions. This helps ease tension and opens the door for a more collaborative discussion. Before we worked together, Brenda often felt compelled to dive straight into the meat of the discussion, afraid that delaying the tough part might make it easier and wanting to just get it over with. However, she learned to start with neutral openers, acknowledging recent successes or expressing gratitude or contributions. This subtle shift in approach eased tension and paved the way for more productive discussions with her team members. From there, move on to presenting the facts. When you start addressing the issue, present the information you've gathered during your preparation. Be specific and avoid generalizations. Say, on this date, this happened, and here's why it's a concern. Keep the conversation focused and avoid personal attacks. Share your concerns clearly and directly. Use I statements to express how their actions or behaviors impact you or the team. For example, I noticed that when deadlines are missed, it affects the entire team's workflow and puts additional pressure on everyone. Don't use passive voice to make the information too general. It should be clear and specific. With my client Brenda, our work focused on organizing backup facts so she could speak with specificity. She learned to move away from vague statements and instead could say, on this date this happened and here's why it's a concern. She learned to be clear and focused. Once you've shared your concerns, give them the opportunity to share their perspective. Active listening is crucial here. Do not just listen to wait for your turn to speak. Let them express their thoughts and feelings without interruption. Address their perspective head on and do not dance around or ignore it. This helps the team member to see that you are genuinely concerned for them and the outcome of the discussion, instead of making predetermined decisions. And be genuine. Do not fake this. After you've addressed their perspective and understand where they're coming from, move the conversation towards solutions collaboratively. Ask open-ended questions like, how do you think we can improve this situation? Or what do you think we should do? Encourage them to take an active role in finding resolutions. This promotes a sense of ownership in the process and creates a result that everyone can be happy with and feel ownership of. Before concluding the conversation, outline clear next steps. This can involve specific actions, deadlines, or potential follow-up discussions. Clarity on what happens next helps remove uncertainty and provides a roadmap for improvement. By being able to clearly outline the next steps, Brenda was much more sure of the conversation. She was able to work collaboratively with her team members to create a mutually agreed upon solution and next steps. And her team members felt much better prepared to meet her expectations rather than just floundering through. Finally, end the conversation on a positive note. Reiterate your confidence in their ability to contribute positively to the team and express gratitude for their willingness to engage in the conversation. Ending positively sets the stage for ongoing improvement and collaboration. And remember, the conversation is not about pointing fingers. It's about fostering growth and positive change. If you want to feel confident like Brenda now does in her difficult team member conversations, schedule your free discovery session at the link below to see how I can help you become a more confident leader. So, what happens if your team member is resistant or verbally combative during your conversation? It can be tricky to navigate these difficult situations, but having a plan ahead of time will help. Above all, stay calm and composed. Remember that resistance is normal. Keep your cool, don't let it throw you off. By staying calm, you avoid further escalation of the situation. Verbally combative behavior often stems from heightened emotions. If your team member becomes verbally combative or resistant to feedback, acknowledge and validate their feelings. Saying something like, "I can see this is emotionally charged for you, and I appreciate your perspective," shows empathy and reinforces their feelings are acknowledged. If the verbal combativeness derails the conversation, take a moment to clarify your points and redirect the discussion back to the key issues. This helps in regaining focus and steering away from unnecessary conflict. Even in the face of combative or resistant behavior, encourage constructive dialogue. Pose questions like, "Can you share your thoughts on this matter in a way that helps us find a solution?" Steering the conversation toward a problem-solving mindset can diffuse the tension. Verbally combative team members might require a different approach. Be flexible and adapt your strategy. This can involve adjusting your language, emphasizing collaboration, or taking a brief pause to let emotions settle. Offer support while addressing their concerns. Sometimes combative behavior is a result of feeling unheard or undervalued. Addressing their underlying concerns can help in de-escalating the situation. If the verbal combativeness becomes overwhelming, don't hesitate to suggest taking a break. A brief pause provides both parties the opportunity to collect their thoughts and approach the conversation with a renewed perspective. Remember, dealing with a verbally combative or resistant team member requires a delicate touch, but the strategies we just discussed will help you deal with these challenging, difficult situations. And above all, remember to stay calm. You do not want to become emotionally charged along with your team member, because that will only further escalate the situation. So far, we've only addressed verbal combativeness. If the team member becomes physically aggressive, remove yourself from the situation as quickly and safely as possible. Now that you've had the actual conversation, what comes next is follow-up. This is just as important as the conversation, and effective follow-up can make or break the outcome of the conversation itself. It's where you solidify the positive changes that came out of the discussion. There are several different ways that you can follow up after your discussion with your team member. First, you should consider scheduling at least one follow-up meeting, assuming the difficult conversation wasn't separating with the team member entirely. Ideally, it's not a one-and-done situation. You want to check in on progress, address any new concerns, and reinforce positive behaviors. Consistent communication is the glue that holds the process together. You should also consider how you want to communicate with your team member for ongoing follow-up. Remember, it's not just about monitoring progress, it's about offering ongoing support. Continued communication reassures your team member that their growth matters and that you are genuinely invested in their success. If you want to get better with communicating with your team, watch this video next. Thanks so much for watching today. See you next time.